of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coon. The white man to go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, given to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations, I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
Touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. I see a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get mad. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Ambercrombie Fitch.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin? Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X to my jeans and I got...
This is the sound of Eric Fun.
All right, Grand Rising, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again for another episode of the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click the notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Also, don't forget to do your due diligence and make sure that you're still subscribed to the channel because you already know how they get down in these ScrewTube streets. All right. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, Twitter, DGoddess27. And as per usual, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, well, you know there's thousands of YouTubers for you to follow, so you don't have to complain. All right. With that all being said, let's see who is up in here. Terry Hartfield is here, okay, on my stationary bike, watching, trying to get healthy. I know that's right, beloved. I know that's right, okay. Alice Childs Charm is here. Juju said haters exit stage left. That's right. December, Miss Evie is here. Laverne, Miss Cookie, Lana L, Christopher, that Crazy Beach Aries, Mr. Hotel, fan page, Claudette, Eileen, Terry Hinton, Vince I Am from the UK, Buckhorst DC, Jeff ATL. All right, Samantha. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into it, Carmen. I see you, beloved Claudette. Okay. All right. That Crazy Beach Era says #1 commentary bar none. Only the Queen and her nefarious loyal royals. That's right. They better recognize, beloved. Hey, Nausea. All right. So let's get into it. Hey, Queen Sam, Child Brooklyn in the house. Okay. So with that all being said, Danielle is here. All right. Capricornus. Let's get into it. Now, I just want you all to know before I even get started that the news that I'm about to give you, you heard it here first. You heard it here first. Now, you may have heard about Kim Kardashian because we've heard about that since 2022. And I'm going to take us back in time so we can go back to what she said then and what she's now saying. So it was announced recently that she's the ambassador for Balenciaga. Now, what you haven't heard is about what's going on with Ambercrombie Fitch and how all of that ties in to the Balenciaga scandal. Okay, so you definitely heard that here first because this is what I put together. I want you to pay attention because y'all know how the haters be out here trying to copy the Queen's talking points. One specifically. Okay, Lana L said, take that, wigs. Okay, take that. And let me just tell you all something. I'm going to be petty for a minute. I'm going to be petty for just a moment before I get it started. Okay? I'm going to be petty. Lana L said Kim is exploiting children. I absolutely agree. Okay? B. Dolo said, dang, Queen looks different without her hair wrap. All right? So, with that all being said, I hope that's a good thing, beloved. Hey, Raw Will, the lovely T is in the house. Greta is here. Sandra. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. Now, with that all being said, Greta Lee said, be pretty queen, be petty queen. Thank you. You know I will, honey. I can't help myself. I can't help myself. Queen Sarah said, and we're going to enjoy your pettiness. Hey, Priscilla and Regina Bithia in the house. Jeff ATL, honey, I was about to issue a bolo on you. Okay, I was concerned. I hadn't seen you in a minute. All right, not even in the spiritual, and you have a membership. I'm like, hold on. What's really going on with Jeff ATL? Do I need to go get a police report done? Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, let's get into it. Everyone, please like and share. Now, what I'm about to show you, hey, Nina, some Mike's World, said the whole industry in the trash, okay? Rafaela is in the house. Now, here's the thing. So recently, I've been telling you all, and I keep saying it. I know y'all, some of y'all are probably tired, but I just can't help myself. I keep telling you all about this person who called me Nancy Drew one day, right? I guess as an insult. But so little did she know you all had been calling me that, and now we call her the fake Nancy Drew. And I'm going to prove to you right now today even more so why she's a fake Nancy Drew. She's not doing investigative research as she would love for people to think. She copies lots of my own research and other people's as well, but specifically mine.
But that's not just it. She also tells lies, uses clickbaits and titles, and just retells the same story that she's already told by just simply repackaging it and all of that. Now, Exhibit A is what I'm about to show you. And I'm going to need y'all to make it all make sense because I clearly could not. Please pay attention and observe. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, you all see this, right? Now, you all remember when both her, myself, and somebody else initially reported on Jonathan Oddie, the man who said that he had some types of ties with Diddy and Cassie. Okay, he was one of the people involved in their FOs, right? Now, here's the thing. I find it all so interesting because here's the title. I want you to pay attention. Now, days after that video, she posts a story lying and saying that the man was found deleted. Like they found him deceased. Now, mind you, there was an obituary, okay, that said something about a person with the same name from Doral, Florida. Now, we don't know if that was significant or we don't know if it was authentic or not. But here's the thing. She says they found him. Now, if someone just dies, that's one thing. And if someone is found dead, that's another. So which one does she say? Well, she said he was found. Okay, and there's been no proof to substantiate whether or not the man's even dead. I want you to pay attention. But that's not just it. That's not why she's a liar using clickbait and why she copies the queen to get the real facts. Because here's the next thing she posted. Now, this was posted December 15th. Of 2023, she put the date on it herself. And then she put RIP. Now, if you're really Nancy Drew and such a thorough investigator, and I, as you say, lack analytical skills, below act, well then why, oh why, would you post something as if it's a fact when you don't even know if it's a fact? And also, let me just say, on the same day that she posted this, because me and a friend listened to a part of the video. See, I didn't listen to it when she posted it because I knew she was lying. I said, this girl is using clickbait. But so yesterday we were having fun and being petty. And so we said, let's listen to it. And in the video, she says, y'all, baby, y'all know that I got a call on the last live. And my source told me, girl, you need to be careful. As if she's in big trouble. As if someone's going to take her out for telling stories about Diddy. When there are so many people that are on YouTube and on TikTok and everywhere else telling stories about Diddy. But she tried to tie that in as if her life was in danger because she was posting that this man who spoke out is now dead, according to her. When she posted nothing to prove that the man was dead. But oh, wait, there's more. So then just a few days ago, she posted this. Please pay attention. Jonathan Oddie officially missing. Girl, a month ago on December 15, 2023, you said he was found dead. Now you say that he's officially missing? Missing from where? Who reported him missing? But I thought he was dead. And if he died on December the 15th, they haven't buried him yet? Is his tombstone missing? His casket? The burial site? What exactly is missing? See, this is what I be talking about. And see, this is why her and people like her hate on the queen. Because I am the queen of receipts and I don't deliver fake news. And I don't use clickbait titles. And I don't paint narratives and just make up stuff. Okay? That's what I don't do, ever. That's what I don't do, ever. The lovely T says she's a lying copycat. Oh, yes, she absolutely is. She absolutely is. Okay? The only time she has her facts right is when she copies them from me. Please pay attention. I'm just saying. When she's not copying me, she has to make up stuff. Let's see how long it takes her to steal this and use my talking points from this. Please pay attention. That's all I'm saying. Now, let's get down to business because I could go on and on for days with these people like her. Okay? She's the main one. Now, first things first. Kim Kardashian announced, PHP Princess said, Queen, you the GOAT. Thank you, beloved. Okay, Greta said, you know Wig and fake Nancy Drew are lazy, so they sit back and copy you. Thank you. And that's exactly what it is, beloved. I'm not even joking. Dodger said, often imitated, but never duplicated. Sarah Hill says, expose her, Queen. You know I will. She don't want to see the rest of the receipts I got on her, okay, that pertain to things that are very deceptive. with money involved. Yeah, but let me continue. Okay, Juju said they can't get enough. Okay, Lana said I was like copycat. So let's get into it. Now pay attention. Now Kim, let's talk about it. Let me pull up the first receipt. Everyone, please like and share. You all know how they have Queen Shadow Band, honey. Please pay attention. Please pay attention. Now here it is. Kim Kardashian slammed after being announced as Balenciaga ambassador following campaign scandal. Now this was reported this morning at 7:31, fresh off the press. So here's what they say. Kim Kardashian has received backlash after being announced as Balenciaga's brand ambassador following their 2022 campaign scandal. Now, back during Christmas, Balenciaga's holiday campaign stirred quite a bit of controversy after featuring children holding teddy bears that appeared to be dressed in bondage gear while surrounded by an assortment of items, including a spiked dog bowl and a love heart-shaped chair. Now, it initially said the campaign iterates on the artist series Toy Stories, an exploitation of what people collect and receive as gifts. But after receiving criticism online, the company issued a statement and said they sincerely apologized for any offense or holiday campaign that their holiday campaign may have caused. They added that the plush bears should not have been featured with children in the campaign before removing the images from all platforms. Well, when people do nefarious things and get called out, they often want to try to backpedal and then apologize, but it's often too little too late. Now, so Kim, of course, came and spoke out about that, acting like she was so upset and all of that. But now she's the ambassador. And I want you to pay attention because even when she spoke against them in 2022, what she didn't do, as far as I'm concerned, what she didn't do is flat out denounce them. That's what she didn't do. And neither did she say that she was going to stop fooling with them. She didn't say any of that. So, which led me to believe, I think, as we can all now see, that absolutely, she's going to keep dealing with Balenciaga. Now, even though Kanye did come out and speak against them, but hold on. Hold on. Now, after reevaluating their relationship or her relationship with the fashion house following its 2022 campaign scandal, the reality star turned billionaire mogul is the brand's new ambassador. Saying for several years now, Balenciaga designs have been a part of my many looks and some of my most iconic fashion moments. This historic fashion house embraces modernity, craftsmanship, and takes an innovative approach to design under Dimna. This is what Kardashian said in a statement on Monday. Now then goes on to say, for me, this long-standing relationship is built on mutual trust. How do you trust people who posted children and bondage gear? Like it was S&M. How do you trust that? Oh, but let me continue. For me, this long-standing relationship is built on mutual trust and a commitment to do what's right. I'm excited about this next chapter for the brand and to become their ambassador. Kardashian has long been a fan of the label and its creative director, as she's attended numerous runway shows and starred in several campaigns in the past. Yeah, and when she attends those shows, guess where she sits? Right next to them. Okay? That's what she does. Now, she was accompanied by Dimna to the 2021 Met Gala, where she wore a custom all-black look comprised of a face-obscuring mask, a tunic-length t-shirt, bodysuit, elbow-length gloves, and the house's polarizing pantas shoes, leggings with built-in high heels. The Skims founder also walked in the Balenciaga Couture show during Paris Fashion Week in July 2022, strutting her stuff in a skin-tight asymmetrical black gown with attached gloves. Let's look at some of her Balenciaga looks. Let's just take a look at some of them. Lights up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. This is all nefarious. But y'all haven't seen anything yet. Please pay attention and stay tuned. So this is her in one of their outfits, the skin-tight bodysuit, I guess. Or no, that's a dress. And there she is in her pink. And here's another. I'm sorry, these clothes are not all that to me. It looks like something Elvira, the mistress of the darkness, would wear in fact. But hey, what do I know? What do I know? Now, with that being said, let's talk about what she said when she spoke out against them. Because I find it all interesting that now she's the whole brand ambassador. And that she obviously doesn't have a problem with what they did simply because they apologized. So if someone takes your child, and does something nefarious to them, or someone else's child, doesn't even have to be yours. All they have to do is say they're sorry, and that's just the end of it. Please make it all make sense. Okay, so I'm going to put, Busy Diva said, don't insult Elvira like that. Yeah, you have a good point, beloved. Okay, now I'm going to put this on the screen because this is what she said. I have been quiet for the past few days, not because I haven't been shocked and outraged by the recent Balenciaga campaigns, but because I wanted an opportunity to speak to their team to understand for myself how this could happen. As a mother of 4, I have been shaken by those disturbing images. The safety of children must be held with the highest regard, and anything against it should have no place in our society, period. I appreciate Balenciaga's removal of the campaigns and apology. And speaking with them, I believe they understand the seriousness of the issue and will take the necessary measures for this to never happen again. Now, here's what I want you to pay attention to. You can clearly see that she was giving them grace. You could also clearly tell that she wasn't going to stop fooling with them just from those comments alone. Now, she said they apologized and they removed the ads. Well, they did that after everybody went in on them. They did that after they got the backlash. And she says they now understand the seriousness of it. You mean to tell me they didn't understand the seriousness of it in the first place? I'm sorry, this is a whole fashion giant. You mean that's been in business for years. You mean to tell me, Kim Kardashian, that they didn't understand how serious it was? Please make it all make sense. But let me continue, because here's the thing. Yeah, they knew exactly what they were doing, and that was all done by design and on purpose. Now, she further went on to say, and here's the thing. She said she'd been quiet for a few days. I was just trying to figure it all out. I wanted to talk to them and see for myself so I could understand for myself. What do you need? How much brains does one have to understand that something like that is inappropriate for children to be featured in? What did she have to take 6 days off for before she responded? You know why she waited those 6 days? Now, this is just my opinion. I believe that because this was done during the holidays, she felt like everyone's just going to forget. By the time Thanksgiving's over with and the next few days go by, no one's going to be thinking about it, because we all know, most of us do realize that people on social media, sometimes many of them tend to be, have a short-term memory. So something happens and we're all in an uproar this week, and then next week something else happens and we forget all about the first thing. Let me give you a prime example. When Brother Belial gave that interview to Tasha K about Will Smith and Dwayne Martin. And then right on the heels of that, I believe that's when Cat Williams' interview came out with Shannon Sharp. So then no one was talking about that anymore. You see, that's what she was hoping, that something like that would possibly occur. Okay? That's what she was hoping, I do believe. Because remember, Brother Belial gave like 2 interviews. He did the first one a couple of months ago maybe, but then he did another one. But then this whole thing started up. So after it was Cat Williams, and everybody's been talking about that for days, okay, at least 2 weeks by now. So with that all being said, that's what she was likely hoping for. And another thing is that people know, if they're paying attention, that during the holidays, it's the best time to slide something in, to sneak something in on people. And that's likely why Balenciaga put that out at that time. Because I've told you all before, those of you who are my day ones, I've been telling you since 2020, that in fact, when they want to make nefarious legislatures that they know people are going to complain about, like when they know they're going to try to take away some of our rights, or they're going to try to implement things that we find detrimental, they try to do it during the holidays because people are busy hustling and bustling, shopping, planning to go out of town to visit relatives and family and things like that. And so sometimes people are not paying attention. But let me remind you that when those times of the year come, that's when you should be paying the most attention. So I absolutely believe that Kim Kardashian thought that we would just forget about it and it would all blow over. But guess what? It didn't blow over. She waited 6 days and thought it was all just going to go away, but it didn't go away. People got in her comments and went in on her. They demanded that she speak on it because they knew that she's always been endorsing them. She's always been wearing their clothes and all of that. And they wanted her to speak up. So finally, she had to. Now, she'd want us to think that she had to wait for them to send her an email response or wait till she could get in touch with the team that was in charge of the ad campaign. At the end of the day, she's a billionaire, is she not? Kim Kardashian is a billionaire mogul who wears their brand, endorses their brand, and always has. So with that all being said, do you think it took her 6 days to get in touch with them? She could have picked up the phone and called them right then and there and demanded answers and an explanation. And then she could have gotten on social media and said what she had to say. But no, that's not what happened. She was trying to wait for it to blow over and it did not. So finally, once it didn't blow over and people demanded that she speak on it and she was being criticized and she received the backlash for being affiliated with them in the first place, that's why she said something. That's the only reason she came out and said something. And then pay attention to how she phrased her response. Very carefully crafted. You see, that's another reason it took her a few days. She had to choose each word carefully. She likely got together with her publicist and they wrote out a statement for her to say. Maybe she got with Balenciaga and their team and they told her what to say. But the main thing is she acted as though that everyone should just forgive them and let it just all roll. You know, just let it all fly because they said they're sorry. They apologized and they now understand the seriousness of it. Okay? Anyone that is a responsible mother would not ever be affiliated with someone who's done such things. And that's just what it is. Okay? That's just what it is. Now, she went on to say, I appreciate Balenciaga's removal of the campaigns and apology. In speaking to them, I believe they understand the seriousness of the issue and will take the necessary measures for this to never happen again. As for my future with Balenciaga, I am currently, now here's where you know she's going to keep working with them. And the thing is, she's likely doing this all for money. But isn't she already a billionaire? So why do you have to do this? It's not like she's broken, struggling, because we know sometimes when people are in a financial bind, they'll do some things that compromise their own integrity because they feel they have no other way out. Even though for me, that's not an excuse, but I'm just telling you, that makes more sense than what she's doing because she's already a billionaire. She has money. She says, as for my future with Balenciaga, I am currently reevaluating my relationship with the brand, basing it off their willingness to accept accountability for something that should never have happened to begin with, and the actions I am expecting to see them take to protect children. Well, what actions are they taking to protect children, Kim Kardashian? What actions are they taking? Now, Balenciaga sincerely apologized for any offense or that their holiday campaign may have caused. And they say our plush bear bags. Well, I already told you what that says. Now, the label also apologized for displaying unsettling documents in the campaign. Let's talk about those documents. Saying we take this matter very seriously and are taking legal action against the parties responsible for creating the sets and including unapproved items for our spring 23 campaign photo shoot. This is what the statement says. We strongly condemn abuse of children in any form. We stand for children's safety and well-being. Well, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. And here's the thing. They said they wanted to sue the people who did that as if they didn't approve it. Let me tell you all something. At the end of the day, when something goes before the board and when they're having these campaign ads, how many people do you guys think approves it? How many people do you guys think has a say-so? You think it's 1 or 2 people or even 3 or 4? No, there's a whole team of people. You see, it has to go through numerous channels and chains. And all of these people have to approve it, Balenciaga. So they come acting as though this was done without their proper authorization. And they apologized for the legal documents. And you may say, what legal documents? Well, I'm so glad you asked. You see, when this all came out, some of us social media sleuths, we zoomed in, I know I did, to find out what was those papers, what were those significance of the pile of papers that were underneath that purse that they featured in the ad. And here's what it was. Hold on. First, I'm going to show you my TikTok video where I mentioned those papers. And I did this back in November of 2022. This is an old video. But then I'm going to explain to you what exactly the case was for those papers. And this is how you absolutely know that it was all by design. It was all done out of nefariousness. It was all done absolutely on purpose. This was no accident. This was not something that was unauthorized. You see, here's how you know it's BS. If someone says to me, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, can I post some advertisements for myself on your channel? And I'm going to pay you to do it. And so if I say yes, the first thing I want to do is not see if the chat clears. The first thing I want to do is to see what the ads are. What's featured in the ads? What's it all about? Is it appropriate for my channel? Do I want to promote this? That's the first thing I'm going to do. So if you're a fashion giant and you're having an ad done, especially one featuring children, you mean to tell me you don't go back and check it first to give it your own sign of approval, to make sure it's what you want, to make sure it's nothing that's going to be detrimental to your company and to your brand? Well, of course you do. These people aren't stupid. They're multi-billionaires, probably even trillionaires for all we know. These people are not stupid at the end of the day. You see, they're not stupid, but they just think we are. Please pay attention. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Ahmadiyyah Shakur. So Balenciaga has recently been involved in a scandal, which they've received backlash from, where they had some very inappropriate ads, in my opinion, that were shared. Well, let's get into it. Now, this is just one of the inappropriate ads that they posted. It shows a child holding a stuffed animal that looks as if it's into some type of bondage. Very inappropriate. And now I'm starting to wonder, when Kanye came out just a few days ago, for those of you who missed it, and said that he posted that tweet basically on purpose so that he could end his ties with Balenciaga. He said that now he's finally free. I wonder if this had anything to do with it. Shortly after Balenciaga issued that apology, they had to apologize again because there was an ad for a $3,000 purse, but in the background there was a document. It was actually a printout for the 2008 United States versus Williams case decision ruled on by the Supreme Court about the constitutionality of child pornography. I have so many questions. Now, after this, Balenciaga announced a lawsuit seeking $25 million against the production company North 6 and the set designer Nicolas Desjardins. Now, there are a few more disturbing images that were posted. Here's one, as you can see. I wonder what they had in mind when this was posted. This one depicts a woman lying on top of a pentagram, spread eagle, and the caption reads, "The devil made her do it." So Balenciaga is suing for $25 million, and you mean to tell me they didn't know anything about any of these images? They didn't approve or authorize any of these things to be shown? I have so many questions. Now, just days ago, Madonna posted a tweet saying that she was Balenciaga. Of course, I wasn't surprised because if you read her book, well, you already know that she said that she had a relationship with a Puerto Rican teenager. And she got into all these specifics that I won't talk about on this video. Amid people taking down their posts for Balenciaga after the backlash, Nicole Kidman didn't take hers down. And I have a very good idea why she didn't. Now, this is Nicole Kidman with her father, Dr. Anthony David Kidman, who lived in Sydney, Australia. He's no longer with us. You see, back in September of 2014, there was a woman that came forward, and she said that she'd lived with him since she was 6 years old, and she talked about all the assaulting that he had done to her and others, and she also told some very scary stories about hunting parties for children. They actually had kids involved in these things.
Now, this is Fiona Barnett, the first one to come forward out of the 60-plus victims. Now, after she came out and said all these things, Dr. Anthony David Kidman fled to Singapore, where he was found a week later deceased. They say that he did it to himself, but I absolutely think that it was the satanic cult that he was involved in. I think they wanted him to be silent and not snitch on the rest of them. Fiona seems to think the same thing. Fiona Barnett told her story in a book called Eyes Wide Open. And don't forget, Nicole Kidman played in a movie called Eyes Wide Shut.
Okay, so I did that video in November of 2022, like I said, when this whole thing all hit the fan. Now, at the end of the day, they can't convince me that they didn't know anything about it. Please pay attention. Also, it's interesting that Madonna came out saying that she's with Balenciaga or that she is Balenciaga. I want you all to pay attention. And here's the thing. We've already heard about Madonna and stuff that she was doing when she's going up there to Africa getting those kids, okay? Please pay attention. Not to mention, do you all remember there was a clip of an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians where Kris Jenner, Kim Kardashian's mother, said that the brand name Balenciaga starts with ball. Do you all remember that? Do you all remember that? She said it sounds like ball, and she calls it Balenciaga. Ball, and we all know who Ball is, okay? Please pay attention. Do you all think that was a coincidence? Why would she be called it Balenciaga? Because she knows something. And here's the thing. At the end of the day, December said a lot of these celebrities get involved in endorsing these things that they don't even know what the brand is about. Oh, they know what the brand's about. Of course they know. They know exactly what the brand's about, beloved. The ones who may not know what the brands are about are us. We don't know sometimes. See, that's why I don't care about name brands. I don't care about name brands, okay? At the end of the day, do you know where name brands came from? The term, it came from slavery, where they would brand your ancestors. Put the owner of the plantation's name on their back. They branded them with their names. And today, they still brand you with name brands. Because some of our people are so caught up being vanity slaves. And so they're caught up with name brand clothing. And they'll spend hundreds and thousands of dollars just to have it. And then they get these rappers who look like us, and these celebrities who look like us, are the ones that we appeal to, even if they look like us or not, like Kim Kardashian. They get them to promote these things to us by wearing them and by being their brand ambassadors, like Kim Kardashian. This is what they do. And so some of you, no matter how nefarious they are, some of you, like Kim, will still support them. Just like Gucci, when they made those turtlenecks with the blackface. And some of you still supported them. Even T.I., what did he say? He said, oh, we're going to boycott them for 3 months. 3 months? Why only just 3 months? After 3 months, is what they did going to have gone away? 3 months, because in 3 months, he figures nobody would still be thinking about it. That's just my opinion. At the end of the day, now here's the thing. If you've already purchased these things and you don't want to throw it away because you spent all your money on it, okay, that's fine. But at the end of the day, what you should not be doing is purchasing anymore. Okay? Once you know, then you can change your behavior. If you bought it and spent money on it when you didn't know what they were doing, well, that's totally different. But if you know and you still support them, well, you can't make that make sense. That's what you can't do. Now let's talk about this 2008 case, okay, about the constitutionality of child porn. That was featured in their own ad that they want us to think that they didn't have a clue about. Now this is going to explain to you, this animation that I'm going to show will explain to you exactly what the case was about. And I bleeped out some of the things just so I wouldn't have any issues with scrutiny.
Child pornography, meaning explicit images of actual children, isn't protected by the First Amendment because of the harm it does to the children involved, and so its possession and distribution can be criminalized. But virtual child pornography, involving computer-generated images of children or adult actors made to look like children, is protected speech because the harm to children rationale doesn't apply. In United States v. Williams, the United States Supreme Court examined Congress's efforts to craft a statute that successfully prohibited unprotected speech without sweeping protected materials into its scope. Michael Williams entered a public internet chat room and chatted with an undercover Secret Service agent offering to send the agent images of his daughter being molested in exchange for other sexually explicit images of children. After the agent didn't share the requested photos, Williams posted a message to the chat room that contained a link leading to images of 7 actual children between the ages of 5 and 15 engaged in explicit activities. The Secret Service then searched Williams's home pursuant to a search warrant. Agents found and seized 2 hard drives containing at least 22 images of real children engaged in explicit activities. Williams was charged with 1 count of possessing child pornography and 1 count of pandering child pornography. The pandering statute, Section 2252A of Title 18 of the United States Code, prohibited knowingly distributing or soliciting any material, quote, in a manner that reflects the belief or that is intended to cause another to believe, unquote, that the material contains images of actual children engaging in conduct. Although Williams pleaded guilty to both counts, he reserved the right to challenge his pandering conviction on constitutional grounds. Williams argued that the pandering statute was overbroad in violation of the First Amendment and impermissibly vague under the Due Process Clause of the Fifth Amendment. The district court rejected Williams's statutory challenge. The 11th Circuit reversed. The United States Supreme Court granted cert.
Okay, so there you have it. So that's what was in the background of an ad. Now, why would that? I mean, you know, it's not a coincidence. That's in the background of one of the ads, and then they're featuring these children. Please make it all make sense. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Now let's talk about Kanye. I'm going to show a clip of what Kanye had to say.
I spent somewhere between $5 to $10 million personally on Balenciaga. How much money do you think Balenciaga had paid me in the past 2 years? Just take a really wild guess. A really wild.
Less than that?
Just take a super wild one. Just go to the furthest extent of your imagination.
1.2 million.
Lower.
500,000.
Lower.
0.
Now he's complaining that he spent all that money with them, but they didn't pay him anything. But hold on, there's more.
Everybody shuts up about that. Nobody ever wants to talk. The same thing with like Balenciaga talking about the bondage with the kids. Are you going to convince Kim to not wear the Balenciaga anymore? Because, you know.
I think that not wearing certain brands is not going to solve trafficking, any form of trafficking. It's deeper than a logo on a brand. It just so happens that, you know, Balenciaga is being called out, but I'm saying let's call that out. Let's call everything out.
Yes.
Let's call it all out. Let's call it all out, baby.
That's what we got to do. Call it all out and get it all out in the light.
He said, let's call it all out. And he said that wearing the brands is not going to stop trafficking. That's what he said, right? Actually, if everybody who's spending all these thousands of dollars on them, maybe they no longer have a brand, and maybe that would stop it. Just a thought. But anyway, I digress. But hold on. Let's hear what Candace had to say. Candace Owens.
Now, you may know Balenciaga. It's a huge brand. Kim Kardashian is one of the faces of it. In fact, if you go to her profile right now, she has dripped herself in their new campaign. Balenciaga and Adidas are teaming up. They want nothing to do with Ye. Neither does she. Perfect brands for all of them to unite and to sell some products. Who cares? Whatever. Ye has in the past talked about the fact that he thinks that his children are being sexualized in Hollywood. He thinks that it's wrong that his 9-year-old daughter is allowed to be on TikTok and have millions of followers, knowing that there's perverts on the internet. Whatever. We know that everyone calls him crazy for saying that, talking about the overt sexualization that is taking place and the child exploitation that is taking place in Hollywood. They keep telling you that he is crazy, okay? Kim has basically allowed this narrative to go on. She has alleged that he has bipolar disorder, doesn't know what he's talking about, he's lying, that it's fine for her daughter to be on Instagram. We also know that Kim K herself has engaged in pornography to buy herself access into Hollywood. Her and her mother colluded.
I guess we'll never know.
statement, Kardashian's statement correctly. Like maybe I'm just not comprehending it. Because it sounded to me like she was trying to say that it took her...
Okay, so there you have it. Now, hold on. Because even Tokyo Tony, okay, Black China's mom came out and said something. Here we go.
You killed your mom. You sold out your soul because you said it yourself.
My mom ain't here. My mama was sacrificed.
But you have people to... And raise the lighters. Watch this. Kanye West told everybody to get rid of their Balenciaga. Kimberly is fucked up with Balenciaga.
I told Kim this yesterday. I said, look, any form of perversion is bad in God's eyes.
She done sold her soul. And then he turns around and get his new wife to do what, y'all? He took her shopping at Balenciaga. Anybody ever took a good look at the pictures of the kids, even with the blindfold on? You don't see who those kids are? Take a look again. And then look at all of the celebrity kids. Who'll say that? What does Kim Kardashian, not Kim, Beyonce's daughter and son look like? The twins. We'll leave that alone. She wears Balenciaga. Cardi B wears Balenciaga, all of them to this day. So that was just a game that everybody knew to play. Everybody is in this shit together.
And that's exactly what it is. It's not that these celebrities don't know. They absolutely know. And it's a game and they're all in on it together, just like she said. Just like she said, and here's the thing. Now, when Kanye came to his senses and then spoke against them and said that Kim shouldn't have his children, doing stuff on TikTok and all of that and wearing that stuff, well, then people did say he was crazy. But what's interesting is Tokyo Tony is right. Kanye then comes back after he disappeared. I want you all to pay attention and put two and two together and get four. Kanye went somewhere, disappeared. We didn't see or hear from him. When he came back, he's married, and then he and his wife go shopping at where? Balenciaga. You don't find that strange? You don't find that strange? How many Kanyes is there? Is there two? I have questions. Kim says it's bipolar. I'm sorry, make it all make sense. But hold on. This is what Kanye said when he was at Joel Osteen's church.
You guys remember when Kanye said this, then disappeared?
Not taking the responsibility as a man. That's why I say the song Closed on Sunday is the hardest record ever made. As hard as the NWA record. Because it's talking about protecting your kids from the indoctrination of the media. The thousands and thousands of images that are fed to children by the age of 6 or 7. And within those images, there are images mixed in that we don't know about as parents that are purposely mixed in to lower the kids' superpower and esteem so that they can be more susceptible to consumption and feel that they need to consume and become a part of the robotic numeric system that controls so much of the media. I just had to say it like this. You can rewind it and then do research what I'm talking about.
Okay, so you all heard that. Now, after he said that, that's when he disappeared. Please pay attention. You all don't find that interesting. Greg says Kanye is confused and not consistent in his beliefs. Just listen to him. Well, at the end of the day, beliefs do change. Many of us can change our beliefs. Some of us were Christians as we were raised, and then now we really don't go to church. We're more spiritual. So it's okay to change your beliefs. But at the end of the day, some of the things that Kanye does and says don't match. And I have questions. Like I said, how many Kanye West are there? I just have questions. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about something else he said. He talked about how children are fed these images, okay, that we don't catch very often. And for those of you who are my day ones, I showed you all videos of some of the Disney images that children have seen in the Disney movies and things like that. And we may have sat there and watched the movie with them and didn't even catch it right away. So here's an article from Balenciaga to Disney. Companies profit by sexualizing kids at a horrific price. Now, this just came out days ago. The consequences of our complicity to the sexualization of children are far-ranging and none more horrifying than the rise in demand for children in the sex trade. Now, with that all being said, they go on to say, Balenciaga, the celebrated fashion house, recently made headlines for a campaign featuring young children holding plush teddy bears dressed in sadomasochistic trappings, bondage gear, fishnet shirts, and studded leather harnesses and collars. Balenciaga's gaffe wasn't an accident. A parallel campaign featured other rotten Easter eggs, like a page from a Supreme Court case on child porn, and a coffee table book on an artist whose artwork depicts children in sexual, macabre, and disturbing settings. Now, the hypersexualization of young children in fashion and TV and social media is not an exception. It's a worrisome trend that should be triggering as a crescendo of warning bells. Yet Balenciaga's egregious misstep resulted in nothing more than a blip on the radar. Another quasi-scandal that further desensitized us to using young children as a means to an adult's end. The consequences of our complacency to the sexualization of children are far-ranging and none more horrifying than the rise in the demand for children to be involved in such things. Now, they say child trafficking is mostly portrayed in the media as a distant problem, not one that occurs in the United States, until inevitably something happens to remind the general public that trafficking of children is pervasive and that it's in our own backyards. Enter the recent arrest of king of toxic masculinity, Andrew Tate, on trafficking and Drake without the D charges. Tate is suspected of luring young women via false promises, subjecting them to physical violence and mental coercion through intimidation, constant surveillance, control, and invoking alleged debts, and forcing them to make pornographic videos. Now, whether we acknowledge it or not, the objectification and sexualization of children directly contributes to the silent epidemic of child trafficking by fueling demand to purchase minors for these types of purposes. An American Psychological Association's report revealed that entertainment, advertising, and the internet glamorize the exploitation of children's bodies, which leads to the exploitation of them for other nefarious things. Now, it's not just Balenciaga. It's Benetton, Gucci, Calvin Klein. The fashion industry is riddled with photos and stories of young women who are sexualized, exploited, and fetishized. One person said, my parents banned social media until I was 17 years old, and I'm glad they did. They also say that these things are echoed across certain industries, from Disney and Nickelodeon, saying how they talk about how they hypersexualize child stars, okay, to TikTok super teens cashing in on their own sexuality for careers as fledgling influencers. But yet, even with repeated red flags launched into the ether, we seem resistant to make the casual link between the sexualization of young children and the rise of trafficking, with figureheads like Tate, who has openly admitted to making a lucrative living through the exploitation of young women. Now, we look the other way while corporations continue to use these young girls with impunity in a cycle of exploitation, and then we continue to buy their clothes, watch their shows, and use the apps. And much like the epilogue of the frog who was boiled by an incremental increase of the water's temperature, we won't realize the dangers we're in, or that we're putting our youth in, until the consequences become far too dire. And by then, it'll be too late. As images of young people in sexually suggestive content subliminally enter minds and cross the blurred boundaries of acceptable norms, our society becomes more and more comfortable with pushing the envelope. See, what they're doing is they're desensitizing us to it. They're making it the norm because later it won't be taboo. Everyone will just foolishly accept it because it's been going on so regularly. That's what they want. Please pay attention. Now, as images of young people and these suggestive things, I'm sorry, I already read that. Now, with that increased demand comes increased supply. Naturally, the trafficking business is booming. American children are diverted from a bus stop near their foster or group home or on their walk home from middle school or high school, or they're groomed online with gifts and compliments only to be lured into a cycle of exploitation. Traffickers skilled in their trade are experts at recruiting minors, and also they're good at misdirection and concealment. They count on the incredulity of adults who are supposed to safeguard their children. They count on their complacency, and in looking the other way, we become their conspirators. Victims of child trafficking are the most vulnerable in our society, including runaways and youths in foster care who have already experienced significant trauma. Many of these teens are victims of parental or caregiver abuse, making them more easily tempted into connecting with a trafficker in hopes of escaping an abusive situation at home. Now, often traffickers manipulate traumatized children by offering them housing, food, and the type of stability they lacked in a previous living situation. Later, perhaps when the child isn't bringing in enough money or tries to leave, the trafficker resorts to physical and psychological violence. Now, with that all being said, I could go on and on because, yes, this is all absolutely true. See, some people have heard the things that go on at Disney. They've seen the reports. They've seen the research and all of that, but they still take their children there. They still take their children to see Disney movies and all those things. Some people will continue to do so. That's just the way it is. Now, another thing that Kanye said, he talked about celebrities being controlled. Kanye West lists controlled celebrities and Hollywood sacrifices in a new rant. Kanye is once again trending for making wild allegations, claiming that LeBron James, Jay-Z, and Beyonce are among various celebrities controlled by the powers that be, and that his mother and Michael Jordan's father were both sacrifices. West was answering a paparazzi's questions from inside a vehicle when he went on a rant explaining why he can't be controlled. Saying they can't control me. They can control Shaq. They can control Charles Barkley. They can control LeBron James. They can control Jay-Z and Beyonce. But they can't control me. Ain't no name I won't name. It's up. West is likely referring or referencing the fact that Shaquille O'Neal spoke out against him on Twitter and that James decided to drop the episode of The Shop featuring the rapper. Now, West continued his rant by saying that Minister Louis Farrakhan slighted him before going on a tangent about Hollywood sacrifices. My mama was sacrificed. Michael Jordan, what about him? His dad, right? Bill Cosby, his son, right? Dr. Dre, his son. Out here in Hollywood, a lot of people coming up missing. Feels like it might be a lot of that in order to control, traumatize. They want to monetize and traumatize. And God loved me. They hit me. Gap, Adidas, all the way. Still Forbes. Who hate me? Who hate me had to write me. Net worth $400 million. You all remember that clip. And so West finished his rant by saying that he can say whatever he wants and not go to jail because he hasn't killed anyone. Clearly implying that some people, hey, pay attention. Name dropping some more celebrities in the meantime. Saying this truth is going to be heard. Y'all can't send none of y'all Meek Mills, y'all Puffies, y'all Lil Boosies, none of these names, none of these people that have to listen to y'all because they have legal issues. I never killed nobody, right? Okay, I'm the P that never killed nobody, right? But that means I can say whatever I want and not go to jail. And here's the thing. You know why that all makes sense? You know why that all makes sense? Aeon said, and then he apologized. Yeah, he did. He apologized for the stuff they said was anti-Semitic. He absolutely did. Here's the thing. I want y'all to pay attention, though. At the end of the day, who's going to jail? R. Kelly went to jail. Bill Cosby went to jail. Pay attention. He said some people can't say what they want without going to jail. Well, because some people get locked up for saying too much. Some people absolutely get locked up for saying too much. Diddy's going to go to jail. I'm pretty sure he's going sooner or later. Okay? Now, mind you, Bill Cosby is out of prison because he never should have been there in the first place. Never should have been there in the first place. I just want you all to pay attention. Now, with that all being said, let's talk about Abercrombie and Fitch. Because this is another hot mess. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, here we go. Ex-Ambercrombie and Fitch CEO reportedly under FBI inquiry for alleged sex crimes. Michael Jeffries and partner Matthew Smith are reportedly facing investigation for allegedly exploiting young men at parties. This is all so sad and nefarious. And let me just put his picture up on the screen so you can see who this thug is. This is Michael Jeffries right here. That's him right there in front of one of their advertisements. Former CEO. So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, it goes on to say the former CEO of the clothing brand Abercrombie & Fitch is reportedly being investigated by the FBI and other law enforcement agencies for alleged sex crimes. Mike Jeffries and his partner Matthew Smith are being investigated by federal agencies following the allegations that they sexually exploited and abused young men at parties they hosted in the U.S. and worldwide. The FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office with the Eastern District of New York are reportedly interviewing witnesses and issuing subpoenas as part of their investigation. Representatives for the FBI and U.S. Attorney's Office declined to comment on the investigation. Now, an attorney for Jeffries did not respond to a request for comment from The Guardian. Brad Edwards, who is representing victims in the suit, told the media that he was unaware of an FBI investigation, but was working to get justice for others. He says, "I don't know what the FBI is investigating. We, however, are leaving no stone unturned in our investigation, and we intend to get justice for these men." This is what he said in an email. Now, the investigation into Jeffries and Smith comes after an investigation in October of 2023 found that the pair had been accused of sexual exploitation of several men at events held in London, Paris, and Marrakech between 2009 and 2015. Other events took place in U.S. properties owned by Jeffries and Smith. Now, according to the investigation, Jeffries and Smith would engage in sexual contact with the young men or order the men to have relations with each other. Now, I want you all to pay attention to this. All men involved reported being paid after the events, and then given thousands of dollars in cash. Most men reported that they were recruited for said events by a middleman hired by Jeffries and Smith. The man allegedly sexually auditioned the men by requesting oral or performing it on them. At least 4 of the men who attended such events said that they were told sex would not be expected, or they said they were deceived by the nature of the events. Others said that the possibility of later modeling for Abercrombie & Fitch was brought up before attending these events. So holding their careers over their head, promising them money, and all of these things. Clearly, the casting couch. One man told the media that he believed that his drink had been spiked at an event after Jeffries attempted to kiss him during a dance performance. The man said that he fell asleep in a back room and woke up to find a Let me see how I can say this. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out how I can say this without being too explicit. The man said he fell asleep in a back room and woke up to find a contraceptive, I'll say, a contraceptive made of plastic in his body. Y'all put that together. He found that in his body. Terry Hinton, be careful what you put in the chat, beloved. Be careful of your comments. Thank you. He woke up and found that in his body. And you know what part of the body he found it at. This is all so sick and terrible. Someone putting something in your drink. You're just a young person trying to make ends meet. You go to Hollywood because you want to get put on. You want to be a model. And this is what they do to you? Doesn't this sound an awful lot like Diddy? Doesn't this sound an awful lot like the stuff that Diddy was doing? Please pay attention. It's all the same. How is it different? You see, at the end of the day, this goes on much more often than people think. Think about the young girl who was 17 who claims that she was trafficked from Detroit, Michigan to New York by Harve Pierre, and she was taken and told that she would meet Diddy. And then she said what happened to her in that bathroom. First Diddy and then two other men. Do you all remember that? Diddy, Harve Pierre, and a third man who was unnamed. Doesn't that sound like the same thing? She said she was given copious amounts of drugs and alcohol. This is the same story, just told in a different way by a different person. I just want you all to pay attention. All of this stuff coincides and is tied together. This stuff is the Diddy connection. I want you to pay attention. Okay, none of this is different. It's all tied in. And so these people who engage in these things, the powers that shouldn't be, the so-called gatekeepers like Diddy, they already know what's going on. And you see, you only get into trouble, R. Kelly. You only get into trouble when you say something to tick somebody off, or you do something that goes against the grain, that goes against those in control. Same thing with Diddy, because I told you all at the whole beginning of the Diddy scandal that basically he was suing his liquor brand. Okay, he was suing that company, Diageo. I told you all that's what got him into trouble. At the end of the day, and I don't feel bad for him because I absolutely believe he did everything he's been accused of, period. But that's the reason he likely got into trouble. So all of this stuff all goes together. They're all out here, these people who have these parties, pay attention. They invite you to parties, and this is the type of stuff that happens. This is the type of stuff that happens. So no, it's not a one and done. It's not like, oh, Diddy's the only one doing it. It's not like R. Kelly was the only one doing those things. It's a collaborative effort. There are many people who do these things. Many people of money, power, and privilege. But let me continue. It also ties in to Harvey Weinstein and Jeffrey Epstein. Okay? All of them accused of trafficking. Well, Epstein accused of trafficking. R. Kelly accused of trafficking. Weinstein accused of putting people on the casting couch, so to speak, and assaulting them, assaulting them, and draping without the D. This is all stuff that they're talking about. Yes, it is part of the culture of Hollywood and the industry, period, whether it's the music or the entertainment industry. Allegedly. Now, with that all being said, the young man said he fell asleep in a back room and woke up with the magnum, whatever you want to call it. Y'all know what I'm talking about, inside of his body. He says, when I put things together, I believe there is a very good possibility that I was drugged and draped with a D or without the D. I'll probably never know for sure the answer of what happened. This is very sad. This is very sad. Can you imagine someone doing that? Can you imagine? What if that was your son or your grandson? This is absolutely deplorable. And you know, we have so many people that give empathy and sympathy when this happens to girls and young women, but it happens to the males too. And it's just as nefarious. Let me continue. Just remember, you heard this here first. Most of the men who spoke to the BBC said they felt degraded and harmed because of their experience with Jeffries and Smith. One said, my feeling of being in that room was an animal. I was not a human to any of these people. I was just a body. I was being presented to someone to do what they wanted with. This is what former model Barrett Paul said, referring to himself at the time of these events. What happened to me changed my life, and not for the better. Clearly still traumatized. Jeffries and Smith are now accused also in the civil lawsuit for abusing more than 100 young men in a sex trafficking operation funded by Ambercrombie and Fitch. And they've also accused Balenciaga of trafficking as well. People have also accused them of it. Now, the suit alleges that young men were deceived into attending events under the guise of providing them with the modeling opportunity of their dreams, becoming an Abercrombie model, and other things. The civil suit claims that Abercrombie and Fitch gave Jeffries access to resources to host events where the sexual exploitation of the young men took place during his tenure as CEO. This was all claimed under the investigation that was conducted. For years, Jeffries has remained a controversial figure outside of the alleged sex crimes. Jeffries, who led Abercrombie & Fitch from 1992 to 2014, has been praised for bringing renewed attention to the clothing brand and transforming it into a clothing powerhouse among younger buyers in the 1990s and early 2000s. But Jeffries has been accused of promoting a racist and discriminatory culture at Abercrombie & Fitch. The clothing brand has also come under fire for promoting clothing with racist or heavily sexualized slogans. So I'm not surprised. So let's talk about some of their advertising campaigns. Well, I always knew they were racist. Okay, I never went in an Abercrombie & Fitch store except once. That's when I was younger. I went there and I said, this is all for white folks. This isn't for me. Okay, and so let me just show you some of the campaign ads. And then you can just assess that for yourself. Okay. And by the way, here's Kim. Kim and North. I think that's North. When she was a little younger. That's her and her Balenciaga. Now that hooded outfit, that was someone else. But I put it on there because that looks like similar to what Kim had on. It looks like her. Look at it again. Hold on. Let me pull it back up. You see how Kim and her daughter are dressed like that image? I actually can't tell if that's which one of her kids that is. But nonetheless, you get the point. This is all nefarious. So with that all being said, these celebrities who engage in these things, well, they know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. And in fact, their ultimate goal is to get us to fall for it and for them to promote it to us. So we're out here spending our money on such things. And when you spend your money on these things, you're complicit. That's what you are. You're absolutely complicit. Please pay attention. Now, also, Abercrombie & Fitch investigates claims that the ex-CEO exploited men at these events. And, you know, they pretty much have a history of different things going on, including the racism, shaming of people, and all of that. So they say they spoke with 8 men. The media spoke with 8 men who engaged in or witnessed sex acts at parties hosted by Jeffries and his partner. Remember, Michael Jeffries, that was the former CEO. okay, his partner, Matthew Smith, for years, from 2019 to 2015. Each of the men saying that they were paid thousands of dollars. One of the recruits told the media that Jacobson made it clear to me that unless he did what he wanted him to do, well, he wasn't going to get what he wanted. The man performed the act, receiving his first $500 payment from Jacobson, and then later an invitation to Jeffries' then home in the Hamptons. There, the men were given poppers, which is a type of drug commonly used to enhance people's experiences when they're being intimate, okay? And eventually, he had relations with the then CEO. So they were given copious amounts of drugs, just like the girl in the situation with Diddy. I want you all to pay attention. Another man, a former model, told the BBC that he had relations performed on him by another recruited man as Jeffries and Smith watched. Now, y'all gonna tell me this ain't the same thing Diddy was doing? Isn't this the same thing Diddy was doing? Doesn't this really confirm what Cassie was saying? Because how these people telling the same stories? These are victims from another pair of people. Michael Jeffries and Matthew Smith. And these men are saying that they were given copious amounts of drugs, just like with the stories that of the people that accused Diddy. And then they're saying, one of them says, out of the 8 that they were interviewing, one of them said that he was told to do these things with another man who was a recruit, and that the guy sat there and watched. Isn't that what that 17-year-old girl said about Diddy? That he was sitting in the hallway watching while the unnamed man in Harve Pierre went in on her, doing the do, draping without the D? I just want you all to pay attention. Yes, it's absolutely sick. And just remember you heard it here first, because nobody put the pieces of this puzzle together, I assure you. Now, Jeffries headed Ambercrombie Fitch from 1992 and 2014 and is credited with transforming the store from a flailing heritage brand known for safari wear to a top-selling teen outfitter, synonymous with preppy cuts, pungent cologne, and provocative ads with semi-nude models. From the start, Jeffries had a clear, if elitist vision for what the store could be. He said, in every school, there are the cool and the popular kids, and the not so cool kids as well. Candidly, we go after the cool kids. We go after the attractive, all-American kid with a great attitude and a lot of friends. This is what he said in a 2006 interview. A lot of people don't belong in our clothes, and they can't belong. Are we exclusionary? Absolutely. Absolutely, he said. Now, that attitude struck success as a business strategy. By 2006, earnings had increased for 52 straight quarters, with annual profits topping $2 billion. The company had opened 800 brick and mortar stores and operated 3 additional labels, including Hollister, the widely popular beach-inspired brand. But the marketing approach that made A&F into a financial success also made it an HR and PR nightmare. In 2003, Black, Latino, and Asian American employees filed a class action lawsuit against the company, claiming that minority applicants were discouraged from applying or kept out of the public eye in undesirable positions. The company denied wrongdoing and later settled for $40 million. Around the same time, it discontinued its A&F Quarterly, its magazine catalog that famously ran photos of mostly white models coverting half clothed or even completely naked, alongside articles with not so subtle headlines like Group 6. This is what they had on the headlines. When asked in 2006 whether the quarterly was akin to softcore porn, Jeffries said that he thought that Ambercrombie Fitch, their treatment of sex was healthy. It's all depicting this wonderful camaraderie, friendship, and playfulness that exists in this generation, and candidly does not exist in the older generation, he said. The American Decency Association called for a boycott of Ambercrombie Fitch, selling t-shirts reading "Ditch Fitch." A few years later, a group of Pennsylvania high schoolers called for a girl-cot of the brand. arguing that its t-shirts reading, "Who needs a brain when you have these?" And you know what they were talking about. And gentlemen prefer tig old biddies were outright offensive. That's what these young ladies said. Well, shout out to them, because the young ladies who listen to Dusty Red and Sukiyana would never have said that. But let me continue. The company eventually pulled the 2 shirts, but kept others, including one that read, "Do I make you look fat? Do I make you look fat?" So picking on fat people. Jeffries' reputation continued to sink after he was accused of elevating his romantic partner's role in the company, overspending on business trips, and mandating the male models who worked aboard the company plane wear branded underwear. But he managed to stick around until 2014, when faltering sales refused to bounce back post-recession. He received a retirement package of $25 million, according to reports. As a sign of how far the brand was willing to go to protect the ideals that he installed, A&F lawyers appeared before the Supreme Court the following year, arguing the company was right to deny, said they were right to deny a Muslim woman a job because her headscarf violated its look policy. The Supreme Court ruled against Ambercrombie Fitch 8-1. This is all crazy. I'm going to stop right there. Because we'll continue this with part 2 tomorrow, because there's a whole lot more nefariousness. I want you all to pay attention. This is all so sick. They have all of this stuff going on, all of this debauchery, and then they got the nerve to be racist and discriminatory too. Please pay attention. And here's the thing. Just to give you an idea of how low down they are, there was a person who worked for them who had a prosthetic arm. Do you know that this person was supposed to work in the back, apparently? They didn't want him out on the floor. So one day he comes out on the floor for whatever reason, and the managers shooed him away and made him get the H off that floor real quick. They couldn't have anyone seeing him and knowing that they have someone working there who has a prosthetic arm, could they? This is what they do. And I want you to pay attention, because you see, here's the thing. People who hire people based solely on their looks, but not their talents or their intellect, those people tend to have something nefarious afoot. If you think about Tyler Perry, for all of you who watch Tyler Perry shows, movies, and all of that, Tyler Perry only hires good-looking people, specifically the men. They're all good-looking. Have you ever seen someone unattractive on Tyler Perry's shows or movies? No. That lets you know that he's very concerned with the way people look and sex appeal and things like that. And then we heard those allegations from Christian Keys. Now, he never said it was Tyler Perry, but many of us think it was Tyler Perry. But at the end of the day, just think about that and then think about this. Okay? Michael Jeffries from Abercrombie & Fitch said out of his own mouth that he only wants to hire attractive, good-looking people. And then I showed you this. You see, because men like him, they want to put themselves around these good-looking young men so that they can have influence over them and groom them. Now, that's my opinion. Okay? That's my opinion. Now, maybe he's doing it for another reason, but I absolutely think that's it. So with that all being said, we'll conclude this with part 2 tomorrow. As I said, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Everyone, please like and share this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell, click the word all, so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. And listen, don't forget to tune in to the backup channel later on today for your daily vitamins. It's going to be good. You don't want to miss it. Okay? That's going to be on the backup channel later on today, probably around 5 o'clock. All right? So with that all being said, everyone enjoy the rest of this day. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives.
yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got